Are you team burger or are you team patty melt? I went to go make a burger the other day, only to realize that I didn't actually have any burger buns, but I had a loaf of bread. So I was like, never actually made a patty melt before. See them on social media all the time. Let's actually make one and see if I think that it's stacks up to how a normal burger is and see if it's ever worth people's time to even make them. I'm very hesitant because they just look like a lot more effort and a lot more mess, but let's see how we go. So we're going to start with the food item that takes the longest to cook out of everything here, and that's going to be the caramelized onions. Caramelized onions make pretty much every kind of burger just like infinitely better. If you don't like caramelized onions, I don't want to know you. And we're going to be using those on both the patty melt and the normal burger. So once we've got all these in the pot, we're going to just chuck a heap of salt and a heap of oil just to like help them caramelize and cook down. And then we're going to chuck them on low to just cook while we're making everything else. Then when you're making any kind of burger or patty melt, you need a good sauce to go with it. So we've got some sriracha mayo, some mustard, some ketchup, and then we've finally diced up some onions and some pickles. And then usually you can just add a little bit of pickle juice at the end, just to like thin out the sauce a bit and give it an extra little bit of a zing. That's basically our burger sauce there. Now, obviously with a patty melt, you're not going to be adding vegetables inside the patty melt because it's going to just all become a big pile of mush. But we're going to chop up our lettuce, tomato, and onion for our standard burger because you need those things in a burger, in my opinion. It just makes them taste better. And once we got all that sorted, we're just weighing out our 70-gram balls of beef here. We're going to use 2 balls of beef for both the patty melt and the burger, just to like create that little extra bit of like crusty flavour by having the smaller pieces. And then on a patty melt, like they're pretty simple. Obviously you can see it's just cheese, sauce, and then we'll chuck some of the caramelized onions on there. And then we're just going to chuck it in the sandwich press and just let it all meld together and melt and become one big homogeneous mess like you'll see in a minute. I really didn't like how this patty melt came out. I really think I could do a better job of it next time. This is like one of my first times ever making this, and you can just see it all oozing out the side. Like it does not look. And while that's in the sandwich press, I thought I'd get started on the actual burger, the thing that I was more excited for. As you can see, I'm just squashing down the burger patties. And while that's cooking, I'm just going to assemble the burger. So just the lettuce, tomato, caramelized onions, normal fresh onions, and that's just like a perfect burger in my opinion. And you could tell that I just bitten off way more than I could chew here with this burger. Like, it's just leaning everywhere, like the Leaning Tower of Burger or something. It's a good funny joke, that one. You wouldn't even be able to fit your mouth around this thing. It's just slipping and sliding everywhere, but it does look pretty good. And then here's the absolute meal of a patty melt that I've made. Just look at this thing. Like, I know that it's just meat, cheese, and sauce, so it's going to taste good, but it just looks absolutely putrid. Like you wouldn't serve that up to someone at like a restaurant or something like that. So yeah, here we are just cutting into it. to just see how bad it actually looks. Just look at that. Look at the slow motion here. The steam coming off it does look good, and the sauce and the cheese, like it looks an absolute mess. I think I kind of like it how the bread's not that toasted on this. Freshness that you get from all the veggies. I love my veggies. Now, I just was not happy with my performance with that first patty melt, so I thought, let's give it another crack. Let's try a few different techniques. Let's try a different bit of bread. Let's make sure to butter the bread more optimally to make this patty melt way better. So you can see here, I've chosen a different type of bread this time around. I've chosen like a really thick, longer piece of bread that I thought would hold its integrity a lot better than the last thing that I used. And the only thing I will say about this technique is I should have melted the cheese first. I literally had it in this pan for like, on too high as well, probably for like 10 minutes, and the cheese wasn't really melting properly. And although I feel like I did a much better job this time around with this patty melt, I still felt like there was a few things I could change to make it better. Like, I feel like the bread was too thick and crunchy, and a few other little things, so we'll get back to that later. So at this point, I'd learnt all my mistakes. I've made burgers heaps of times, but I still thought I was messing those up a bit. But there were so many things about the patty melt that I did incorrectly to begin with that I thought I could rectify. And I'm going to show you guys the final product of how I ended up making my patty melt in the end here. And with this last burger that I made, I really tried to get the ratios of the ingredients to be like perfect. Like, I really made sure to not have thick tomatoes, only a thin layer of lettuce. Make sure that the burgers were like perfectly fitting on the buns, just so that it looks better for the footage. And also it's not just a mess when you're trying to eat it. And you can just tell the night and day difference on how this burger looks compared to the first one. The ratios of everything is just so much better. I haven't tried to overload it with any particular ingredient. I've really like been intentional. And you can see I haven't stuffed around this time. Like, I've really lathered up the butter on these really nice big pieces of bread that I got made at a local bakery here, which I think is going to be like the biggest difference. And the thing that I've learnt the most about when making a patty melt is the bread has to be like perfect. And here was a big thing that I changed as well, is I only caramelized the onions for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. So they didn't get a lot of good color, but see, as you can see here, I've put them on the burger patties to get a bit of extra caramelization as the burgers are cooking. And you can just see the difference in the end product here. Like, this looks like something would come out of a restaurant. And then the first one that I made at the start of the video looked like a 5-year-old bloody made it. So yeah, it just shows you. So here I am, I'm looking insane. I'm making a third burger now because I wasn't happy with how the first two came out, and I want you guys to decide at the end of the video which patty melt you think is looking the best and which burger looks the best, and if you'd prefer a patty melt over a normal burger. And it's actually hilarious because the only reason I've made 3 of each is because every time I've made the item, I've been unhappy with how it's looked. I initially just wanted to film it one take, one patty melt, one burger, but my audio was stuffed in the first one, so I had to redo the audio and do a voiceover anyway. And I wasn't happy with how the patty melt came out the first time or the first burger. So I just decided that for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to just film myself making them every time I make it until I get it right, just so that I could add it to this video. I'm just that much of a content creator that I've filmed about 2 hours worth of content for this video, and it's come out to be about 13 minutes long. So what an absolute waste of time that's been. Anyway, here's a montage of just all the different patty melts and burgers that I cooked over the span of like 3 weeks. And you guys tell me which one you like the best. Spoiler alert, patty melts are still nowhere near as good as your normal burger.